mean, you most definitely right about that because, like, I felt like with my journey, I knew that I overcome a lot of hurdles that I placed for myself. It wasn't life, giving me hurdles. I was putting hurdles in front of myself and running back and jumping over them. I was doing double the work. So then,
Yeah.
I actually had to realize, like, okay, I need to change this. And it's a long process. Like you said, I'm still learning today because the Bible said if a man say he knows something, he knows nothing at all.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning because I don't know nothing. I'm still learning. So it is so it's a journey. It's one hell of a journey. But you know what? It's one thing I say. I'm glad it made me who I am today. If it wasn't for my past, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be doing this right now if I didn't go through, some of the stuff that I've been through. So this is the version people get when I done been through hell and hot water and I
Yeah.
made it out. So and that's what's important in my eyes. Overcoming your hurdles and realizing, okay, I need to make myself better.
Yeah. I
So
think that it's the maturation of becoming a man. Um, because I remember as a kid looking at a 36-year-old man, to me, that was a grown man.
mm,
And now at the age of 36, to me, a 66-year-old man, that's a grown man.
mhm.
And, you get to this age and you realize, man, it's not about age, it's about experience and the things that you go through in life. And some people, they go through a whole lot more than other people, even quicker, depending on what their situation is and the environment that they were in. And
Look, not to interrupt you, but this is a good question I have.
yeah,
When did you realize that you became a man?
um, it was when my oldest daughter, when we got back home from the hospital.
Mm,
When we got back home from the hospital with my oldest daughter, that's when it hit me.
mm,
Yeah, because
mm,
it's different now. Because now I'm responsible for the well-being and the safety of a whole other human being. This is
mm.
mine's, and if
Look.
something happened with this one, or if this one doesn't, amount to anything, everybody's looking at me.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's a fact. That's a fact. Man, you know what is so crazy? I don't know how men can walk away from their kid. Something that they produce, and it boggles me because I had a couple of people that I know. They were like, "Well, it's my baby mama. My baby mama always be tripping and all this other stuff." And I be thinking in my head, like, "Okay, so what? Be a man and fix it."
yeah,
I know it's not that easy as I said, but as your duty as a man, you supposed to fix the problem.
yeah,
And I don't understand with some men why you wouldn't want to fix the problem because at the same time, that's less stress on you if you can fix the issue. It don't have to be a battle between man and woman. That relationship can be rectified if both parties try. And sometimes the men got to try a little bit harder because we are the leaders. We got to lead by example. We got to lead from the front.
yeah. I think it's important for men that have navigated to situations to where they're not in the same relationship with their children's mother to
Hmm.
figure out a way to make it work. And that may be different for different people depending on what the
Right.
situations
Hmm.
are surrounding y'all relationship. But I think that at the bare minimum, the man should do everything that he can to be
Right.
a part of his kid's life. And some women are different than other, and they make it a lot more challenging
Hmm.
than other women.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not not throwing women no safety net, because they be playing a valuable part in this process too. So
Yeah.
even with the women, they have to understand, like, okay, maybe I need to look at myself and figure out, okay, why this relationship is like this. Why do we have to always argue? Two parties have to come to agreement to make things work. So
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
so y'all
But I
women
think
out
it comes
there,
down
hey,
to maturity because some people, and that's both men and women, some people are not mature enough to
yeah,
have those types of conversations to come to a compromise, yet alone be in a situation to where they're responsible for other human beings. And this is the dilemma that we have. We got kids raising kids.
right, right.
And when you got kids raising kids, arguing with kids about how to raise their kids, or people not raising, you end up with a situation where there's going to be some traumatic moments for that child.
Man, these kids, they're smart. I would say they far more advanced than what I was at their age because of technology. But also these parents, like a lot of these parents try to be friends with their kids. And there's nothing wrong, being friends with your kids, but also you have to be a parent at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids, like, look, I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to make sure that I protect you and guide you and instill the right things into you.
Hmm.
Being nice is a luxury. My job before you go out there into that world, and I will do my job at any means necessary. I will do my job to prepare you for this world, because I'm not going to allow you to come out into the world not prepared. That means I didn't do my job preparing you.
Yeah, I
So,
think it's important. And I love the way that you use the word prepared
mhm,
because the way that kids need to be prepared today is different from when we grew up and then different from
right.
when our parents grew up. You see,
Hmm.
my grandparents, when they grew up, their parents was preparing them to deal with a high level of insensitivity and
Hmm.
racism and prejudice, and
Hmm.
how to talk to people when they walked out the house to make sure that they made it back home safe.
Right.
And those are the types of conversations that they would have. And the conversations that we would have today are different from what they had. I got to make sure
Hmm.
that my daughters know who they are, so that
Right.
nobody else try to tell them who they are. I tell them that they're
Right.
beautiful. I tell them that they're
Right.
smart. I tell them that their
Right.
last name is Curry and they're
Hmm.
winners, and we don't give up. Even if we lose, we learn from our losses because we're winners.
Mm.
Um, and we do
Oh.
everything that we can to prove to ourselves that we can do it. And if we don't get it right the first time, we try again. We pick ourselves up and we dust ourselves off because that's who we are. So I make sure that
Mm.
every time my daughters are in my vicinity, they understand and they hear from me and they know exactly who they are. So nobody else tells them who they are. And I make sure that I treat
Mm.
them right. I take them places. I wine and
Mhm.
dine, not wine. I don't give my kids
Right.
alcohol. But I take
Kool-Aid
them
and dime.
I take them out and I get them things so they're not impressed by some of these little boys who go and buy them stuff.
Right.
My
Right.
daddy took care of me like that. So you got to come with more than just buying me stuff. So I try
Yeah.
to make sure that I impart in things in them that help build their character and help solidify their principles on life and who they are. That way, when they grow up, they're strong black women who believe in themselves and and they stand for something, so they don't fall for anything.
So look, I gotta ask you a question. Like when we talk about our daughters, like how do you protect them from the internet, from looking at the sexy reds, the Cardi B's, and don't get me wrong, these women are actually women, actually you know, great women, but at the same time, what they promote is it's entertainment. And so
Right.
I be telling women all the time, this is not who they are in real life. This is just a persona, personality they perform for y'all. But how do you tell your daughter, okay, what you see on TV is not reality?
So I start with making sure that they identify between right and wrong. And some things that they see and hear, whether it be on TV or they actually hear it in person, some things are not right. And when they see things that are not right and they know it's not right, then they don't repeat it. They don't try to portray it. And I think where we miss the mark as parents is we try to hide our kids from everything. Look, we in 2024. If your kids got a device, they have access to everything. So we have to
Right.
make sure that they understand that they're not supposed to look at everything and they're not supposed to watch everything, so that when I'm not around you, or no one else is around, you know the difference between right and wrong, and what you should be watching and listening to, and what you should not be watching and listening to. So when they see those women, doing those videos and dressing that way or talking that way,
Mhm.
for one, they know the difference between right and wrong, and they know who
Right.
they are, and they know what they
Okay.
stand for. So there are going to be women out there who dress a certain way, but that doesn't mean that you have to dress that way, because you are
Right.
a woman of integrity. Not to say that she doesn't have integrity, but
Mhm.
because the way she dressed, it makes it look like she doesn't have integrity,
Right.
doesn't have care for her body or her image. And you, as a young woman, you will dress modest, you will cover up, and you will make sure that you're not revealing things to little boys, because everything is not meant to be shown. And you want to make sure that you are kept. And those are the types of conversations a father should have with his daughter, to make sure that he establishes what that's supposed to look like. Now, as a man, I think it's important for any young woman to actually visualize and see what it is supposed to look like. So you need to have women in her life that show them what a good woman dresses like, how a good woman talks, how she walks, how she goes about her business.